polygamy.
Well, should they? I mean,
Well, if they do allow one, they should allow the other. Why not?
You believe they should allow both?
I don't. But it seems to me that if you're going to force through laws allowing same-sex marriage, then you should definitely allow polygamy. You know. Yes.
And a lot of these things are cyclical. So the reason that a decent basis for Obamacare is that under the current law, people have a right to medical coverage. They show up to a hospital, the hospital has to treat them. That in some ways infringes upon the property
In
rights.
case of emergency.
In America.
Right.
Right, so if someone showed up to a hospital, the hospital has to treat them,
Yeah.
there's an infringement upon their property rights. So in some way to guard the property rights of the hospital, you then force everybody to buy health insurance. So once you have one, you kind of have to go the other, so it comes to step. So it seems like a logical progression, once you say that a hospital has to treat somebody, that then also people have responsibility not to put undue burdens on these hospitals.
Is a rule that a hospital has to treat emergency cases a national law? Is on the statute book?
As far as
I'm not aware of it, is it? Or is it just something that they do automatically?
I think it's a de facto requirement because of lawsuits on the other end.
Well, that's my feeling. It's not the law in the statute books. And I've seen it happen. I've seen, people being brought into hospital without any insurance or anything being taken care of. But I'm not sure that they legally want to do it. They just do it, maybe to protect themselves against suits.
Right, so I mean that has the same effect where a hospital must treat someone unless they fear.
I'm not sure they must. They just do it.
If they don't, they'll get sued and therefore lose considerable amounts of the property.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it seems like
Well, it's a complicated issue. I agree. Yeah. So, yeah.
So I'm in a Protestant's class, and as part of the class, we've looked at various scholarly writings on the different forces that affect, like, the economic structure of society, and one of those is including private property. So I was just wondering if, in your research, you come across any interaction between sort of religious ideology and private property.
Well, I mentioned religious in case of Judaism. It definitely promotes private property. As far for Jesus Christ, he was not against private property. He advised people to give up their wealth, but he himself did not demand it, and he went to the houses of rich people, and the church, the Christian churches, were never against private property as such. They were against abuses of it. They insisted on charity, and in some cases, as in the case of the Calvinist religion, they actually possibly approved of private property and wealth because they thought it's a sign of divine grace. So does that answer your question?
Yes.
Let's make this the last question.
Okay.
Where would you put fascism and Nazism on?
Put what?
Where would you put fascism and Nazism on the political spectrum? Do you see them as like very similar to communism or the polar?
Well, I would separate fascism from Nazism. I lived in Mussolini's fascist Italy for 7 months in 1940. It was nothing like the Soviet Union or Nazi Germany. It was a joke. It really was. And they had these signs. I was a 17-year-old young man, and I saw these signs on the streets of Rome. Il duce ha sempre ragione. The duce is always right. And I chuckled at it. Well, nobody's always right. And no Italian I ever met, and I met a lot of Italians. I went to the University of Florence for a few weeks. Nobody ever took that seriously. And there was never any feeling of tremendous repression from abroad. People complained. I used to go to museums. I remember the guards, they would come up to me and said, "You're from abroad. Oh, you don't know how miserable things are." This was unthinkable in Nazi Germany and Soviet Union. Nazi Germany and Soviet Union were very similar in that respect. And Hitler had great admiration for Stalin. And in one of his so-called Tischgespräche, the table talks, which were recorded, he said that once he conquers Russia or the Soviet Union, he will make Stalin his Gauleiter, his deputy in charge of Russia. And the Russians, Stalin never said this sort of thing about Hitler, but Molotov said, who was very close to Stalin, Nazism or fascism is a matter of taste. They were very similar, they knew it, which is why they concluded that non-aggression treaty in 1939. because they were against democratic capitalist countries. They were very similar. But Italy, I'll put aside.
Just follow up, would you like, when they call themselves the National Socialists, were they true to that title? Were they actually socialists?
Well, no. Hitler realized the strong appeal that socialism had to the German population. I mean, there was a very strong communist vote before he took over. So he said that we must win over the socialists. And he himself said, I quote him, not in this book, in another book, My Russian Revolution, where he said, I've learned a lot from Marx. He also gave instructions to the Nazi party after he took over that they should try to bring into the Nazi party communists, not socialists and liberals. So he saw the similarity, and he was right in that respect. Stalin was much more taciturn, he didn't talk about it so much. But I don't remember ever really condemning Nazis, except after the war broke out, after the Nazis attacked him. He didn't condemn Nazis, and he was an ally of Nazis.
Please join me in thanking Professor.
Okay.